Sophie Cunningham and Paige Bueckers couldn't be more different when it comes to handling controversy, but their clash has blown the lid off one of the WNBA's most explosive debates about officiating and how rookies get treated. Cunningham has never been one to hold back, and her latest social media battle with a fan over Dallas Wings rookie Paige Bueckers just reignited a firestorm that's been burning since the 2025 season started. What kicked off as a simple TikTok video turned into a multi-thousand-dollar lesson about what it costs to speak your mind in professional sports. Let's go back to January 15, 2026. The WNBA season's wrapped up. Players are deep into their off-season routines, but the arguments keep raging. Cunningham decides to post a TikTok showcasing a play from the previous season, a perfectly coordinated ball-stripping sequence where she and teammate Chloe Bibby worked together to steal the ball from Bueckers. To Cunningham, this was textbook defense. Clean, aggressive, completely legal. But not everyone agreed. A TikTok user called it Easton Appear 11 dropped a comment that lit the fuse. Kinda looks like a foul. Just 4 words that apparently hit a nerve with the fever guard. Cunningham's response came fast and crystal clear. I'll show you what a foul really is. If you know anything about Sophie Cunningham, this kind of fiery comeback shouldn't shock you. This player has already been fined 3 times by the WNBA for her commentary about officiating. We're talking about someone who posted a TikTok lip-syncing to Sabrina Carpenter's Man-Child, basically calling officials stupid, slow, or useless. That social media moment cost her $500. Then she doubled down with podcast comments questioning officiating consistency, which earned her a $1,500 fine. By her own count, she's 3 for 3 on being fined by the WNBA. But this goes way beyond one player who can't keep quiet. This controversy sits right at the crossroads of several fascinating dynamics in women's professional basketball. How rookie superstars get treated, whether officiating stays consistent, and what price players pay for speaking out publicly. Paige Bueckers entered the WNBA as the #1 overall pick in 2025, carrying expectations that would crush most people. UConn legend, college basketball superstar, immediately thrust into the spotlight as a frontrunner for Rookie of the Year. When players of this caliber enter professional leagues, they often receive what veterans see as preferential treatment from officials, those so-called superstar calls. The numbers tell a pretty interesting story about the Cunningham-Bueckers matchups during the 2025 season. Across 4 games between the Fever and Wings, Cunningham drew the assignment of defending the rookie sensation most of the time. Bueckers averaged 19.2 points per game for the season, but in 3 of those 4 matchups against Indiana, she crushed that average significantly. June 27th, 27 points in a Wings loss. July 13th, 21 points in a Fever victory. August 1st, 22 points in another Fever win. But that final regular season meeting on August 12th really set everything off. The Wings managed to edge out the Fever 81-80, but Bueckers had what you'd call an off night. 16 points on just 31.5% shooting, going 0 for 4 from three-point range. Yet, from Cunningham's perspective, the officiating told a completely different story. The very next day, August 13th, Cunningham appeared on her podcast, Show Me Something, with co-host West Wilson. What she said next would add another find to her growing collection.
I love Paige to death. Do not get me wrong. I think, I think she's a hell of a player and, would love to play with her one day. But those refs were giving her every freaking whistle last night. You literally couldn't touch her. Couldn't touch her. And that shit is so annoying to me.
There's something really fascinating about this quote because it shows how complex Cunningham's position actually is. She's not attacking Bueckers personally. Actually, she expresses genuine admiration and even says she'd love to be teammates someday. Her problem is with what she sees as inconsistent officiating that gives certain players special treatment while leaving others to fight through contact. The TikTok video that sparked this latest controversy shows exactly what Cunningham was talking about. In the footage, you can see Bueckers grimacing as she hits the floor after the ball-stripping play, clearly expecting a foul call that never came. From one angle, it looks like aggressive but legal defense. From another, it looks like excessive contact that should have drawn a whistle. This is where the story gets really compelling, because it's not just about 2 players or one controversial play. Analysts have pointed out that rising stars often attract more scrutiny from all sides, including conversations around foul calls and protective officiating. The WNBA, like any professional league, has to balance protecting its marketable stars with maintaining competitive integrity. Paige Buchers, to her credit, has handled this entire situation with remarkable grace. Her response to the ongoing debate has been diplomatically perfect.
A great thing about this world is everybody's entitled to their own unique personal opinion.
That's the kind of measured response that probably drives competitors like Cunningham even crazier, because there's nothing to argue against. Buchers isn't taking the bait, isn't escalating the conflict, and isn't giving anyone ammunition for more controversy. But Cunningham's frustration goes beyond just one rookie getting calls. Her pattern of fines suggests she views WNBA officiating as a systemic problem that deserves public scrutiny, regardless of the financial consequences. $500 here, $1,500 there. She's already invested at least $2,000 in fines for the right to speak her mind about officiating. The timing of this latest social media exchange makes it even more intriguing. We're in the middle of the off-season, months removed from actual games, yet fans and players are still dissecting plays and relitigating calls. It shows how these officiating debates stretch far beyond the 40 minutes of game time, becoming part of the larger narrative around players and their legacies. There's also an underlying subplot about potential roster changes. At the time of this controversy, Cunningham was set to become a free agent, with speculation that she might actually end up as Buchers' teammate on the wings. Imagine the awkwardness of these public comments if they suddenly found themselves on the same squad. Though reports suggested she'd more likely return to Indiana, the possibility adds another layer of complexity to their relationship. The broader question here is whether players should face fines for criticizing officiating. On one hand, the WNBA argues that public criticism undermines the integrity of the game and the authority of officials. Referees have an incredibly difficult job, making split-second decisions in a fast-paced physical sport while being scrutinized by thousands of people in real time and millions more through replay. On the other hand, players like Cunningham argue they have a right to point out inconsistencies that affect their livelihood and competitive success. When officiating directly impacts game outcomes and potentially playoff positioning, why shouldn't players be allowed to voice their concerns publicly? Cunningham's fiery, unfiltered personality has made her something of a folk hero among fans who appreciate her willingness to say what many players are thinking but won't voice publicly. In an era of carefully crafted social media personas and diplomatic press conferences, her authenticity stands out, even when it costs her thousands of dollars. The fact that this debate continues months after the games were played shows how deeply these officiating questions resonate with players and fans. It's not just about one call or one game, but about fundamental questions of fairness and consistency in professional sports. What makes this story particularly compelling is how it illustrates the different ways players handle controversy and criticism. Buchers represents the new school approach. Stay above the fray, don't give critics ammunition, maintain your brand, and focus on performance. Cunningham embodies the old-school mentality. Speak your truth, damn the consequences, and trust that authenticity will ultimately be rewarded. As we look ahead to the next WNBA season, this controversy raises important questions about how the league will handle star treatment and officiating consistency. Will Buchers continue to receive what Cunningham sees as preferential treatment? Will Cunningham finally learn to keep her officiating critiques private, or will she keep adding to her fine collection? The relationship between these two players will be fascinating to watch moving forward. Despite all the public controversy, there's clearly mutual respect there. Cunningham genuinely admires Buchers' talent and has expressed interest in being teammates. Buchers has maintained her composure and refused to escalate the situation. And maybe that's the most interesting part of this entire saga. Two competitors who handle conflict completely differently, but somehow maintain professional respect for each other. In a sports world often dominated by manufactured drama and social media feuds, their relationship offers a more nuanced look at how athletes can disagree about systemic issues while still appreciating each other's talents. The next time these two face off on the court, you can bet every foul call will be scrutinized, every bit of contact analyzed, and every official's whistle questioned. Sophie Cunningham has made sure of that. Whether that's good for the game or not probably depends on where you stand on the value of unfiltered honesty versus diplomatic silence. One thing's certain, the WNBA's fine collection department probably has Sophie Cunningham's payment information saved in their system, because something tells me this won't be her last public commentary on officiating. And honestly, the league might be better for it.